Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Happy Halloween. My first guess is appropriate for Halloween because he was an imposter for a while. Well, actually, he was both things. He was good at both.
A moonlighter.
Yeah, he was good. Well, he was good at both jobs he had, and he was forced to pick one. And he picked comedy. This guy was an actual judge for a while, and did stand-up on the side. His stand-up was a little edgy, freedom of speech. He thought it was America. They gave him an ultimatum, and he took comedy. Is what I foresee from this. I don't know for sure. We'll get it out of his mouth. I want to tell the truth. Please welcome Vince August to the show.
Hey, great to be here.
What's up? Vince and I have met. We came in, I looked familiar. We met at the Comedy Club stand-up New York a couple times. So give me the history, man. Give me the story. What happens? You're a judge first or a comic first?
No, I was a comic and an attorney at the same time.
So you went to law school first.
Went to law school.
Worked as an attorney, and then you got some material from that.
No. Never did lawyer jokes, any of that stuff. Never did funniest lawyer contest.
What'd you do first? Be a professional, make money as a lawyer, or be a comic?
Well, I made more money as a lawyer first.
Right, so you were a lawyer first as a profession.
Right, but I was doing stand-up at night. My boss didn't know. I was running back and forth to the city. Was in it for about 3 or 4 years where I got to the point where I'm like, listen, I got to do something here. This is too much stress working for someone else.
Right.
Got rid of everything I had, sold everything, got my own office. So this way I was a little bit more autonomy to run back and forth. Was working on my own, was doing great. Doing gigs, started booking commercials, started getting some acting gigs.
So you were successful.
Everything was going great. And then the township of South Hackensack mayor comes up to me and says, we want to make you a judge in the town. You have a really good reputation for being honest, and we like you, and you have a good trial rep.
There you go.
And I said, thanks, but, no, I'm good.
Right.
And they said, well, we're going to nominate you anyway and see what happens. So three Republicans, 2 Democrats, 5-0 vote. They put me in.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right.
Even though you didn't want to be.
Well, because I had a feeling this was going to be an issue at some point. So
good idea.
Yeah. So I told them, and they're like, no, we know. We don't think it's a problem.
Oh, they knew?
Oh, yeah. No,
okay.
The town knew. They didn't think it was a problem at all.
And did they know your material? They just knew the fact that you were a comedian?
They knew the material.
Well, how edgy was it? I mean, did you curse? You talk about sex? What was it?
Listen, I bash everybody on stage. Yeah. So it's, to say it's edgy.
Everybody meaning people in entertainment, politicians, what? I mean, just anybody.
Just race, religion, my family, anybody in the crowd. I do a lot of improv stuff.
If you're a judge, that is, listen, I'm all for freedom of speech and I hate censorship on any level. But if you're a judge, racial jokes might seem a little awkward.
Well, that was, if that was just the issue, I would say, all right. But they really went after the TV show that I'm on. And that became...
Which is called What Would You Do? ABC's Hidden Camera Ethical Dilemma Series.
Right. And they saw me playing racist security guard.
As a character.
As a character.
Right.
But here was their decision. If somebody's watching the show and they're tuning in and they don't realize that this is, me playing a character, and they shut it off before they find out that I'm an actor playing a character, and then they just happen to get a ticket in the township of South Hackensack. Just happen to wind up in front of me and say, hey, wait a minute, I recognize this guy.
Well, here's what's going to happen, and correct me if I'm wrong in this day and age with all creepy lawyers. A good defense lawyer, or a bad one, whatever we're going to call it, is going to try to get a mistrial immediately, right? Or, or get them off based on, look, this judge convicted my client, but look what happened.
But if that was the case, I would kick the case to another town anyway.
Right.
But I mean, to think about how crazy that is, I mean, listen, I'm on TV all the time on a hidden camera show. If I was that recognizable, I'm not going to get any more gigs on the show because people are going to say, we know this guy.
Of course it's crazy. It makes no sense, but a lot of times nothing does, and that's
right. So ultimately, here was the crazy thing about the decision, though. It's, listen, you come off as a racist on this TV show as a homophobe.
Again, but you're acting. They don't care about that, right?
You're on stage and you're saying all these horrific things.
Carol O'Connor could never have gotten a job when he was Archie Bunker as a judge.
But here's the punchline to the whole thing. I tell you what, this is all bad, and it's definitely cast a negative light. But if you stop doing it, you can still be a judge.
Okay.
So I was like, wait a minute.
Even though all that tape exists, it's out there.
Right. We've uncovered all of it.
What it is a way to control you, right? Like look, we're your boss. We control you. Stop. Take our orders, and we'll take care of it.
Right.
So I read an article that said that being a judge paid you very little.
Yeah, $13,000 a year.
That's astonishing.
I had
That's
no idea.
astonishing.
Why become a judge instead of being an attorney? Like,
And
you
is
get
he-
a lot more money
Oh,
being
no,
an attorney.
I was
right?
still a lawyer at the same time.
Okay.
And
So
okay, so you're making money as a lawyer.
Okay, so this is on top of
I
that.
could, yeah, I
Got it.
couldn't do any more criminal law because there's a conflict then because
Of course,
right,
yeah.
you're doing the same
so
thing.
would you go back to contract law, like something boring
Yeah, I was
like
doing
that?
real estate, divorce law, personal injury
But
stuff.
if you go to law school and you come out, you do criminal law, and you want to be a comedian, you're clearly a guy who likes excitement. I mean, there's a certain personality. I could deal
Absolutely.
with contract
Yeah.
law and cubicle working, and a guy who wants to be a comic, travel, see the world, do material, write, be creative, and be a criminal lawyer. You want action.
Look, Geraldo went to law school.
Exactly.
He's a lawyer. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, it's not so
Geraldo
cra-
wanted to be famous.
Yeah, it's not so crazy.
And I love Geraldo, but that's,
Yeah.
he's a guy. He's an exciting guy. He likes
Yeah.
action and everything. You're that kind of guy, so you're not going to last that long doing a boring thing like whatever law you were practicing, I'm sure.
Wow, listen, it pays the bills, and when you're running back and forth to the city for $25 a spot, during the week.
A lot of dedication, man.
Right. So you know what, I was doing all of it, and during the day, what do most comics do? Nothing.
Okay.
Exactly. I know. I had a job. That was the only difference. I had a
Now,
job.
you had a job. Now,
That
you
was
couldn't do
it.
the road because of that, I'm sure.
I stayed away from the road. I
That's
mainly
where you make
did-
money.
Right. What I did was the big cities. I'd go to LA for a little bit, hit the major towns, Montreal, go down to Florida, do some gigs down there. If the money was there. If not, I'm saying, you know what, I'm going back and forth to the city. I'm working Carolines. I'm doing all the big clubs.
Did you have a
Screw
woman
it.
in your life at
Yeah.
this point? A
Yeah.
family?
Oh, yeah. Fiance, we've been together 15 years.
You were busy then. You were
I was
a busy
busy.
guy.
Busy.
Yeah. Now, what happened? When does it all come to an end?
It came to an end about a month ago when they had handed down this decision saying you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I know what my choice is.
You chose comedy.
Well, you know what? I have too much skin in the game at this point.
Right.
I mean, I've been on my own as a solo for, 11 years, 13 years.
Right.
Turned down multiple partnerships that I could have made a lot of money
In law.
in law.
Right.
To run back and forth and struggle. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to say, you know what? I got this $13,000 a year judge job. You know what? This is the big time. Let me keep this and give up this dream. No, it's crazy.
But here's the thing, and don't give me any exact numbers. You got a family,
Right.
And you're making the 13 G's, but you're also making the lawyer money. What's the percentage? What are you making in comedy? Like you make that decision now. Can you feed your family? I mean, a lot of comics can't.
I'm living check to check.
Yeah,
Even with the law office, people,
It's hard.
And you see on the threads, and I try not to read the threads on this thing, but everyone, the scumbag lawyer's
worst.
still making
I know,
money.
it's the worst.
Right, And I'm like, you know what? You guys have no idea what I've given up to struggle, to run back and forth. And listen, driving from Jersey to the city, you got $13 for the bridge, pay for parking. What do you leave with? If you do one spot, you leave them with $5.
Unbelievable.
Right. So,
And listen,
you
I
need
can,
another job.
dude. I mean, listen, I can relate. I don't know if you heard the earlier shows, but this year, once again, the elevator in my shore house broke. And I mean, what am I doing? It's terrible. I have a lot of respect for you, man. You chose your dream. You're a guy that likes being creative. You're doing it. I just hope you feed your family and stuff. I'll tell you what. Why don't I got some gigs coming up? I'm shooting another special in a couple months. Before then, I got some stuff. Maybe you could open for me.
I would love to.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
You make some scratch, and we could get to know you a little bit more.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting story, and I appreciate you answering these questions while Buzz Lightyear is sitting here.
Well, it's funny
I know it's
'cause
about your life.
Am I
actually,
off-putting?
he's checking like his backpack, like it's a real thing before he sat in the chair. He's like, wait a minute, is this
These
thing moving?
wings keep getting hung up on
Can we
stuff,
please get
so-
a shot of
Like,
him?
like it's real.
Save the video of him in that outfit going, am I off-putting? That was fantastic. Back with more Vince August after these words.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.